Welcome back. We all, I think, have a little narcissism born into us. It's inescapable, I think. And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about tonight. The question I've been asking myself is, am I the artist or the work of art? And which is it, or can I be both? And I don't know. It's a deeply personal question. I'm posing it to myself because I think everyone who watches this, I hope, can put themselves in my shoes, where we all want to be the work of art, right? I think if you were to ask a creative person, who are you, right? They'd immediately say, I'm an artist, right? I'm a creator. I'm a thinker. Which is all well and good, but there's part of us that will always search to be loved and admired. Not exactly for our qualities inside, but maybe even for our exterior qualities, right? And I think a large amount of that has been inherited and put on us by society. A society that stresses, and a million people have said this before, but that stresses exterior beauty. I don't know I don't know which one is me. I think it changes every day, and it can be really distracting. I think at once I want to be completely admired for my ability to create, and I want my image to be totally separated from the art that I produce. But then on the other hand, I almost rely on my figure and my I don't know, my appeal as a human being and as a young person and as someone who does strive to be fashionable and beautiful and appealing. It's a really tough question to answer, And which one do I care for more? Do I care for me as an artist, intrinsically? Would I be happy if I was only an artist, right? Is there room for me to be both? And I don't know. It's a big question. On a totally different note, I got this book, which I'm really excited to show off. It's called The Architecture of the Classical Interior by Stephen W. Seams. And so I really want to show that to you all. It's been highly recommended by my professors. Does that make sense, though, about being an artist or an artwork? It's like there could never be part of me, or excuse me, there could never be a version of me that I think is totally removed from the image I have of myself, And not just visually, but in my personality, I don't know if my art could be fully digested if I was like one of these characters from history where you just read about me in the abstract and then you try and piece together my life next to my artwork, I almost want people to know more about me so that they can read into my pictures and read into my talent a little more, and can put a personality to the brushstroke. It's like, what good is art produced without a face next to it, without us knowing who the artist was or what they stood for? And at the exact same moment, there's a beauty in being totally ambiguous. And often I think a lot of contemporary scholars want to completely remove the artist from the art, because that way it won't be stained by some record the artist has left behind, or maybe there was some ill history that we want to forget. It's like the discourse surrounding Bach. It's like we all want to forget his history, or Mozart. It's like we don't want to know him on an individual level. We don't want to know his history because it hurts us, because we know that those characters did bad things like everyone else in the world. And so I feel like an artist sometimes can be seen of as almost like an angel, and like we just want them to be this pure spirit. It's like Lord Byron. I think a lot of his writing is beautiful, and it's deeply, deeply human. But at the same time, he was like a really messed up person. And I don't know, is that oversensitivity? Is it oversensitive to try and like separate them both? Or maybe I just want to give up being an artist altogether. Maybe I want to be the object of admiration, you know? And it's like, that's kind of deeply troubling, right? Maybe deep down inside, all of us are worried about, if our skills were taken away, would we still be loved? Are skills like and this is an open question. I don't have the answers here. I'm just posing questions. Are skills like essential accidents to us, right? Like, if I was a really good cook and people knew I was a good chef, would they dislike me if I didn't have that ability? Would people get to know me just for my skill in the culinary arts? And I think that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. Is it's almost more reassuring to know people would admire me outside of my art, right? People would want to get to know me outside of my art. But then at the same time, what's the point of it? I don't think I'll ever really know the answer. And I guess both can be true at once, but it kind of feels like a cop-out just to say that you can be the artist and the work of art. I don't know. I'm curious to know if you guys, I don't know if it's a struggle with that is the right way of putting it, but I don't know if I'm in isolation with these emotions, or if that's something that also has occurred in your life, and maybe one of you is really good at playing the violin, or really has a gifted voice. Maybe one of you is like a culinary expert, or you know, one of you is incredibly talented in mathematics or engineering. And has it ever crossed your mind that your friends and your family wouldn't love you as much if you somehow didn't know how to do that skill? Because for me, I mean, I've been painting since I was 3 years old. So it's like, it's a huge part of my personality, right? So if I suddenly was crippled in my hands, right? And I couldn't play piano, and I couldn't paint, and I couldn't cook, and I couldn't, what other talents do I have? It's like it. That's basically it. If I couldn't write, you know, would I blame people if they didn't want to get to know me as much, right? So it's a big question. It's one I don't really have the answer to. And maybe I don't want to know the answer to it because it'd scare me too much. But I think the self-help gurus who claim they can get rid of your narcissism and your selfish side of your personality entirely, I'm not sure if I can believe that, because I think I'll always be attached to the idea of existing as a person who's admired just for being, you know? And I think my vanity will always be like a core attribute of who I am, right? I want to dress in a certain way to garner attention from others, but also satisfaction from myself. I want to feel beautiful, regardless of if I actually am or not, right? It's like, it doesn't matter if I truly am, like, if I ever really will achieve beauty. It's just that, like, we chase it no matter what. We just chase it. It's really kind of sick. It's like uniquely human. Anyway, this has been such a ramble. Thank you for having the patience listening through all of this. Yeah, if you have your own thoughts or opinions, please let me know. I love hearing them. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully not with such an existential video. Although that's kind of what I do, right? It's just like all these big questions that come up throughout the day. I remember this whole conversation started because I was talking about it with my best friend. And we couldn't come up with an answer, you know? I think it just depends on the day, if I want to put on the artist hat or if I want to be the artwork, you know? Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Later.